Hello artists, today we're going to start making your background for your Chinese scroll. You have to remember it's meant to tell a story, so we're starting at the top and working our way down when we're drawing. We're drawing our lines with the calligraphy pen again, so we'll have our trays to hold anything messy, including the ink, and we'll have tips. You'll mostly be using the smaller nib today, which this is the pen nib. And if you remember from last time, the round end is what goes in the end of the pen. You just hold and push. Don't try to force it. Just make sure it feels secure, and then you're good to go. I will have a handout to give you some ideas for things you could put in your scroll. I have a separate page as well where you can see real photographs of some of these places. Like many of these look like an area known as the Yellow Mountains in China. They're really foggy. The mountains are really tall. So that's what we see in here. And most of these images you see some kind of structure like pagodas or smaller houses. Sometimes you see water, trees. Every now and again there's some little people. You don't have to include people if you really don't want to. And when we're drawing with this, we're not coloring a bunch of things in, but we are going to learn some different techniques. All right, just like before, we dip this in, and ink does not need to go past the hole on this nib. The long flat part is on top, and when you're drawing, the hand does the moving. The pen does not need to roll around. So we start towards the top on your page, and there's more than one way to make mountains. So you could start out making typical hills that overlap on your page. And we're not going to draw in this area, just leave it alone. Some of the mountains are a little more geometric when they make them. That is okay. And you could also have layers. If you wanted to have some kind of a rocky cliff, you draw something like this, and then you find the end of the bump that sticks out the most and draw vertical lines that come down. If you're trying to show distance, things are going to be small when they're far away and bigger when they get close to us. If you want to add texture to your buildings, that's where we use something called hatch lines or cross-hatch lines. And let me show you on a practice paper. Hatch lines are lines that go one direction, and you make them look darker or lighter based on how close together they are. So if we have a lot of hatch lines really close together, it looks dark. If we have hatch lines farther apart, it looks light. So for the roof, for example, I can add some hatch lines to it, and that'll add some texture.